this process is extremely risky. So I got an email from one of the manufacturers saying that they were intrigued and excited following our conversation at the show and want to see some of my work. Now, let me remind you, I was planning on presenting some of my work to them at our follow-up meeting next week, but they want to see it now, and I have this like sinking feeling that possibly they're kind of trying to decide whether or not they're gonna weed me out. But again, this is the fear that they will go from excited to work with me to see my work and then be like, never mind. It's ridiculous, I know, but it's a real fear, and it's kind of hard to kind of push back past. But I told them that I would send something tomorrow, so I'm going to work tonight to get that done and see how it goes.
You look really cute. Can I get a smooch?
Yeah.
Pretty face.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in.
Oh, I fall. It's old man.
So I've been up all night. Yes, I've been up all night putting together a presentation to show them some of my work, because again, I want it to be perfect. Working on pulling together some of my designs and even new designs has been great. Again, like, it's just a reminder to me, like, this is all I really want to do. I love designing lighting. It is literally my happy place. And so I'm tired, but I'm energized, oddly, for it being 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Looking forward to hearing their feedback and sending that on and seeing what they say about the work. There's plenty of precedent for, you know, celebrity designers to do a collaboration with a brand. I mean, you've seen it. But there's not really much precedent for a relatively no-name designer like myself to partner with a brand. So for a long time, I've just thought, okay, well, until I build up some sort of following or kind of name recognition, there's no way that a company will work with me. I was surprised that I didn't get no's right away. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is a possibility. And so we're exploring that, and I'm cautiously excited, cautiously optimistic about pursuing the possibility of doing a collaboration with an existing brand and designing lights with them, for them, as Kokobo, and looking forward to seeing how all this shakes out. So I presented some concepts and I did a presentation for them, and it seemed to go really well, but kind of the follow-up has been a little off, and then I got an email saying kind of a no thanks but no thanks. And so I get it, because it's like there isn't a precedent for a non-celebrity collaboration and being as we've just recently launched the company, I don't blame them. It's just frustrating. But we still power on. It's not the end at all. Just kind of dealing with a little bit of rejection in that way, and kind of like trying to process through that and not let it kind of take me out for a couple of days. But so I have a new client in the interiors department, and he happens to have some connections in manufacturing. So we're going to meet next week to talk through some of that kind of stuff and see where there might be an opportunity to work with him, or at least he could help us get into some of the manufacturing. So I'm excited about that, and in that case, maybe we will forgo the collaboration model and try to go back to sourcing directly. So again, it's just keep knocking on some doors, keep asking questions, keep trying, and hopefully eventually something will break through. You know, it's one thing to build a business and document it, but not publish anything about it until after you've gained success and reached a goal. But to document and publish this journey in real time before knowing the end of the story is risky. It feels very vulnerable to be sharing about all of this, the ups and downs of this journey without knowing how it ends. And I think some days I'm like, what are we doing? Why did we do this? Why am I putting it out there? Why am I talking about my failures? Why am I talking about, you know, when manufacturers or companies that we want to do collaborations with and they say no to us, like, why am I talking about that? Like, it's so counterintuitive and counterculture to talk about my failures, and instead, like, I just think like I should really just be putting on this persona that I've got it all figured out, and then companies and brands and clients will want to work with us. And as much as I do think about that and I wonder, oh gosh, should we have done this differently? I also think like, yeah, that might get us somewhere, but it wouldn't be very authentic to who we are, who I am, what I want this to be, and what I see for it. The facade of having it all together is it is a facade, it's a lie. Yes, I have experience. I have a master's degree in industrial design. I have worked in the industry. I do have plenty of experience in doing a lot of these things, but there is still so much I don't have worked out yet and that I don't have answers for. It doesn't make me unqualified. It's just I'm still on the journey towards those things. And I think that there's so much to be learned. At the same time, I think it's so exciting to be able to do this and bring people in on the story, because I know that even if you could care less about design, even if you don't even like my style of design, you most likely have a dream that you have not achieved yet, and that maybe it's even painful to think about or talk about, because this whole thing that I'm doing for a very long time has been painful to even think about because of past failures, past hurts around it. I want to take you on this journey, if it even just inspires you a little bit to rethink or re-pick up a long lost dream along the way. That would be well worth all of this, in my opinion. So if anything, if I can encourage you that your failure is not an indication of your future, it is an opportunity for your future. So it is a preparedness for your future. It is a strengthening for your future. And that is exciting. That is put your big girl britches on and get going. Like that is probably what excites me the most about sharing this journey, is getting to share that you are not defined by past failure. If anything, that is a badge of honor to be worn. Just stand back up, pick it back up and go for it this time. This time will be different. This time is different. So my next steps is really just to continue to design and refine this collection that I've been working on. And I have a couple of fixtures that I've just designed on paper but haven't brought into prototyping yet. So I'm excited to get to do that. We have a couple more interior design projects that are coming up. So I just have to kind of make sure that I'm continuing to design and refine and move that forward, and also be ready for the next opportunity to present for a possible collaboration or a contact in manufacturing. And every time that I do those presentations, it gets easier. I do learn, I get some good feedback, and even when it doesn't go all that well, I still learn something. So just trying to stay positive about all of that and be prepared. As far as like the partnerships or the opportunities that I'm looking for, it could be a couple different things, but one that I'm pursuing right now is possible design collaborations with an existing brand. So an existing lighting brand, and Kokobo comes in and designs with them, for them, and we put out a collection together. Or finding the right fit for a manufacturer as our own OEM, and we'd handle everything directly ourselves. So there's pros and cons to both of the scenarios, but I think we can do it. I think we just have to keep trying and not giving up, and so we'll see what happens. Scoot over. Hey babe.
Hi.
He filled up my hot water bottle with boiling water. I don't like to make it because I almost always burn myself.
You do?
Yeah, it splashes like, it just freaks me out.
Good night.
How would you spell that? G-U-D?
Well, I think that's how you say it, or as I say it.
Good night.
Good night. I say it's more G-U-D. Good night.
Good night.
Come from good night.
Are you done?
Sure.